if the APC had lost that, they recall 20 senators are threatened to defect.
Defect.
If
Yes.
they are defected, then the presidency will be shaky. But now they still have the majority. He just to call all of them, whip them into line and say, look, don't dare go that way. They can go to their houses and lament. But when it comes to the floor of the National Assembly, eh, they are all, in the hands of Lawa, controlled by somebody outside. So they can't afford to be seen to betray.
Perhaps,
the
but
presidency.
maybe perhaps in this administration, because in previous administration, like PDP, we saw Magali Namba,
Try to
and even
yes.
now the current Katsina State
Masari.
government, Masari, trying to impeach Obasanjo that time, President Olusegun Obasanjo.
How did it end? All in failure.
Don't go there again. Eh?
It all ended in failure. So this one will also go that way. Like the spokesperson of the president said, they will have their say, but they will not have their way. But I don't like. I do not appreciate using harsh word on elected lawmakers. Say babish, bravado. Uh, you just simply say they will have their say. It's allowed in democracy, but I don't think they will have their way because we still have the majority. And I don't see our senators attempting to remove the commander in chief. So that for me, I do not appreciate the language, the choice of words by the spokesperson of the president. But these lawmakers will not have their way. I can bet you.
It's really, really sad.
But it's a good thing that they reawaken the consciousness of the president to the reality on ground. And that is the beauty of democracy.
Thank you so much. That is on the insecurity issues confronting the country presently. From leadership blueprint, moving over to the main cover on this day newspaper. Let's see what this leading story is talking about. This day, oil theft, petrol subsidy pushed Nigeria's currency to 700 naira per dollar in parallel market. Oil theft, petrol subsidy pushed Nigeria's currency to 700 naira to per $1 in parallel market. Federal government at wit's end as borrowing grows. Eurobond approaches junk status. Navy unwilling to halt oil theft menace as attacks reduce in Gulf. Nigeria's economy to shrink further as petrol subsidy exceeds revenues from oil sales. TMP Nigeria's 180,000 barrel per day pipeline dries up, worsens oil production woes. That is the leading story on this day, Thursday, 28 July 2022. I'll take it again. Oil theft petrol subsidy pushed Nigeria's currency to 700 naira per $1 in parallel market. Federal government at wit's end as borrowing grows. Eurobond approaches junk status. Navy unwilling to halt oil theft menace as attacks reduce in Gulf. Nigeria's economy to shrink further as petrol subsidy exceeds revenue from oil sales. TMP Nigeria's 180,000 production per day pipeline dries up, worsens oil production woes. We have a problem on our hands, a huge one on that.
A big one. You see, the problem is triple-headed. It's triple-headed. We have the economy woes.
And before you start talking, it's almost the same story we have on our sister publication, National Economy. National Economy says Naira sustains free fall at parallel market, weakens 8% to 710 per dollar in 5 days. Naira sustains free fall at parallel market, weakens 8% to 710 naira per $1 in 5 days. The leading story cover on National Economy today, 28 July 2022. And incidentally, the same story this day newspaper is leading with.
The free fall started when Naira crossed cross to 500 naira per dollar. And some analysts lamented that that the inflation rate, the way our inflation rate is rising, portends danger to the economy. As of today, the inflation rate is about 17.7. And I can assure you that in the next few months, when they release the next statistics and things like that, it will go up. Some people have even projected that by the end of the year, we will close the year
with 1,000 to
with
1,000.
about 27.5 or so percent inflation. Then exchange rate will be about 1,000. Yeah, 1,000 naira to
$1.
$1. And that's dangerous. I can bet you that would be dangerous. Because bread in some places have crossed the 1,000 naira mark.
1,000, yes, it has.
And this thing has multiple effects. When your local currency loses value or free fall against major world currency, and you are an import net country, you are in serious trouble because you have to buy those materials or those goods that are not manufactured in your country from other places.
Yes, and you
have to use dollar. You have to use foreign exchange, either in pounds, euro, or the big one, the US dollar. So it is a dangerous point. We are at a tipping point because it will get to a level that people can no longer afford the basic things. Disposable income in people's hands dry up easily, and that's dangerous because it will force more Nigerians into poverty. It will increase the cost of goods and services.
One begins to wonder how Nigeria got to this level, because when it was rising, I remember the CBN governor telling Nigerians that there's no cause for alarm, that they were trying to see how they can manage it. But now we see what is happening. The Senate summoned the CBN governor. We don't know how.
The CBN governor is helpless because everything is benchmark on production. Even with the sector that we appear to be doing well, to be enjoying economic development, which is the oil and gas sector, our share from OPEC for daily production is about 1.7 million barrels per day. What are we producing today? About 1.1 million barrels. That means we have a shortfall.
We are having a shortfall.
Yes, of over 500,000 barrels per day, owing to disruption, stealing of oil, crude oil, and several other factors around the blue economy, Nigeria's blue economy, and that has not been addressed over time. We are not earning well from the oil sector, and we are not manufacturing.
We are not refining.
We are not refining. We are not manufacturing basic goods that are consumed in the country. So we are at the mercy of the dollar. Our currency cannot do well. No matter the policy, the intervention of the Central Bank of Nigeria led by Godwin Emefiele, it will not change things because the strength of a currency is predicated on production. What you produce. Why is the rand, the South African rand, not falling like that? Why is the Egyptian pound and others not falling? Because they are manufacturing. You and I consume virtually, go to our home, even right now, right here. Virtually everything here was manufactured somewhere else, either in China, mostly in China. So it is a major crisis. And the thing will not get better. For as long as the state of electricity in Nigeria remains the same, it won't get better. People are investing more in alternative energy to sustain their businesses. And you think they will not recoup their money. Prices will go up. Prices will go up, sales will drop because people's disposable income is overstretched. You want to buy gas, it has increased by about 200 naira from the one you bought last month. Your disposable income is affected. And very soon, I can bet you that landlords will also increase their rent.
Oh, yes.
And that will also mount further pressure. By the time schools resume, proprietors, owners of school will increase school fees owing to other variables that affect them, economic variables that affect them. So you can see that it's a big problem. And the president is distracted by so many challenges, insecurity, corruption, then this. The president has not been talking about the economy. It's only the CBN and the finance minister. Unfortunately, I pity the two of them because they've been receiving bashing.
Yes, that's where I'm also going to. Yes. Recently, or a few days ago, the Minister of Finance did tell us that our budget, we had a budget deficit,
Yes.
that our revenue was far below expectations and fall short of how much we are owing. And so if we cannot make up now, because we have been servicing our debt, so what are the implications for Nigeria?
The money will be servicing debt is even more than the revenue.
Yes, the revenue. That's what the Minister of Finance.
And that's dangerous. What are we doing? We are just working for creditors. As it is, we are just working for creditors. Government will not have money to pump into critical sectors of the economy.
And remember
like infrastructure, health, education.
Yes.
And
you remember the acting AGF that was removed briefly, did say that they were borrowing money. The federal government was borrowing money to pay salaries, and he was removed.
That was his sin.
Don't you think that in the face of the former, the suspended AGF, the amount he was said to have looted about 109 billion allegedly? Yes. That's what I said was said to have. You understand? Are there not too many loopholes? There are so many plugs in the sector that
Buhari inherited it and he sustained it. We thought by now all those loopholes will
that a whole Accountant General of the Federation could have. I even read from of the charge sheets that the oil producing state governors even bribed him with 15 billion naira just to facilitate their money.
That is how they made some of these public officers make money. Bribe.
But there are too many loopholes. What can be done to
Nigeria is more or less a banana republic where anything, and it's worse under the present administration. It doesn't sack. No suspension. Nothing.
They are even rewarded.
Sometimes they are rewarded, yes. You just do things and say nothing they happen. You run to perhaps some chieftains of the party and they'll say, okay, no problem. Donate 1 or 2 things to the party. They will go and use that one as excuse. That look, he's a party supporter. He has been supporting the party with this and that. And before you know, the matter is swept under the carpet, and life goes on. But anything you do has a ripple effect on the economy. Anything you do has a ripple effect. Like they will take, for instance, if you spend 100 billion naira in the power sector, and electricity improved by maybe 1,500 megawatts. In addition to the 3,000 megawatts, it means that we have 4,000 megawatts. Other countries were able to improve their power, double their power supply in 4 years. So it's possible here, but we don't have the political will to take decisive action that will improve the quality of life in Nigeria. We don't have the political will. It's clear. So it's left for the president's aides and his appointees to just curry the situation, just like what the Minister of Finance said, that the economy is doing better than the way they met it in 2015. And she has been receiving a lot of bashing. And you don't blame her. She's just doing her job. You don't expect the Minister of Finance to come before the world and say Nigeria economy is not doing well. We are heading towards recession. We are broke. Excellent. He should be fired. In a bad situation,
the former head of state that told us that he doesn't know Nigeria is not moving forward. It has defied logic. A former head of state did say that.
Nigeria has not defied logic. The problem is that we have too many interventions in governance. We allow too many inputs before we take decision. If the president wakes up today and say, look, after meeting his kitchen cabinet, I said, this is the way we want to go, regardless of whatever people will say, their action, we don't want to go. You just announce it. And immediately you start implementation. If you do that 1, 2, 3, 4 times, people will sit up. That this man is the man of action. Things will happen, you just keep quiet. You pretend as if you are acting presidential. You're acting presidential. There are people who are less than 50 years managing economies of 2.7 trillion, like France. The French economy is about 2.7 trillion. The British economy is about 2.6 trillion. The German economy is about $3.5 trillion. People managing, except that of Germany, are all young men of less than 55 years. The French president is up to 46. You are here acting presidential. Security guards are all over you. But the economy is not doing well. Where you people visit abroad are managed by young people, men and women. Get down to the business of governance. But here, they try to play politics with everything. If you say anything, they say, look, it's a PDP member, it's opposition. But the Chinese people say, you cannot carve a rotten wood. And that is what is happening. No matter what the Emefiele and the Minister of Finance said, Lai Mohammed, Garba Adesina says, you cannot carve a rotten wood. The country is falling, and is really falling. Worsened by insecurity. So you see, we have a big problem on our hands. I pity the next president.
And one thing is that the president seems to be so isolated from what is happening out there, that will make them say that no, that will make somebody like Lai Mohammed to say that the senators were being babyish and share bravado. You understand? Do they really understand what is happening?
I don't think the president understands what is happening. I don't think the president is being briefed properly on issues affecting Nigeria. I don't think the president is briefed. Because a sane person will not sit down and allow things collapse under his watch. I don't think. And those people, they don't care, because by the time at the end of by May 2029, nobody will be talking about Lai Mohammed. People will be talking about the Buhari administration, the Buhari administration. Nobody will mention Minister of Finance. Nobody will mention Emefiele. Everything will be the Buhari administration. And that is why things are going like this. People that are supposed to talk, perhaps people are some of them are even afraid of saying their mind. Let us just manage and go in the next 10 months or 9 months. That is the pathetic situation we found ourselves in.
No, these are Naira free fall. What can be done to revert it, to stabilize the free fall?
What do we do to get foreign exchange? We have to get more foreign exchange. What do we do to get foreign exchange? There are too many people running after foreign exchange for personal. Yes.
You did say that there are some students that are up to now, 2 months now, they've not been able to get, who are studying abroad.
But you see, the problem with the issue of students, yes, there are some are genuine and some are not genuine. Nigeria use give a lot of reasons to get foreign exchange. What I mean by we getting more foreign exchange is by genuinely exporting. We need to improve our quota, our OPEC quota, so that we can get more foreign exchange. We need to improve our non-oil sector, export, to get foreign exchange. And we need to encourage local manufacturing to discourage the rush for foreign goods. If we don't do that, the economy will not improve. We just need to aim more foreign exchange, not running after foreign exchange. We need to aim more foreign exchange via manufacturing. If we don't improve our manufacturing base, then we cannot. This situation cannot be remedied. We are heading towards the Zimbabwe situation, where you want to go and buy something, you carry Ghana on school and load Naira, because your exchange rate has depreciated terribly. And God forbid we shouldn't get to the Zimbabwe situation.
The pathetic picture you just painted.
Yes, that is the reality. Because that time you'll be buying one loaf of bread for 5,000 naira. So when you want to go and buy, you can imagine a loaf of 5,000. So if you want to go and buy another item now, when you are going to the market, you carry maybe like 1 million instead of 50,000 naira. You carry 1 billion, and you have to carry it in cash.
It's just a sorry situation. Yes, for now we are going on a break. When we come back, we are going to be reviewing the second lead story on Leadership newspaper. Don't go away. Stay tuned.
sponsorship, and advert placements, please contact 080-3688-6158. Last Word Leadership Podcast Studio. You have the last word.
Inside Nigeria, keeping you informed on what matters.
Yes, you're welcome back in the program. Because you're just tuning in, the program is Inside Nigeria on Leadership Television. My name is Winifred Ubebo, and with me in the studio has been Paul Lagbo. Is an in-house analyst. He's also a social commentator, public affairs analyst. Paul, thank you so much once again for being part of our program. We are going back again to review some more of the newspaper headlines. Good. Let's go to leadership newspaper. Leadership says, okay, above the masthead. Let's have a story above the masthead. Governors reject water resources bill, says it violates constitution. The story is on page 7. And of course, it's also the story that has been making the round since the bill was represented again in the floor of the House of Representatives. And the leadership is coming out with a story that governors reject water resources bill, say it violates constitution. The story is on page 7 of leadership, and it's for discussion now. Paul?
You see, they say allow sleeping dog
Like,
lie. It's a controversial bill.
do sleeping dogs
of
still lie?
Because of this same bill,
Mm,
there was a subtle threat
mm.
on Gbajabiamila.
Yes, although the northern lawmakers did come out to say that nothing like that.
Yes, some people had to initiate that
Mm,
to send a warning to Gbajabiamila that look, leave this big thing. Some people are hell bent on using instruments of power
mm,
to get a bill
mm,
that has issues around it has led to the death of thousands of Nigerians,
mm.
especially the farmers' headers clashes.
Like,
Some people believe that look, it's still the Ruga, the whatever, all manner of names.
you just gapped in
Yes.
water resources.
Yes, giving powers to the federal government to control
The waterways.
the waterways around the country. And you know what that means. The people of Benue, the people of Kogi, those
Niger
around
Delta,
the Niger
yes.
Delta,
Lagos.
yes,
Lagos is mainly
especially
water.
the internal inland waters. It's a dangerous thing. Some people see it as dangerous. That it's a way of um, getting lands for headers,
To the back door.
because of course the headers will say these waters, they are all federal government, and it's for everybody. You have control. We also have a right to graze there. So they say it's a grazing bill through the back door. So such controversial bill, I will urge the lawmakers to stay action in order to avoid further bloodshed. Too many souls have been lost unnecessary through unwanted killing and destruction of lives and property, including that of even the animals. Even the elders too are not finding life easy.
Yes.
Anywhere there's crisis,
Mm.
you cannot live in peace.
Their
there.
country is being rustled.
Yes, because if you don't know the value of peace, if you don't know the value of peace, let the existing peace be disrupted. And that is the headers who are not finding it easy, because we are hitherto they've been living peacefully, grazing and enjoying quality life has been disrupted. It may not be directly the one killing their host farming resident. It might be because a lot of people believe that look, these are mercenaries hired from other like, and it boils down to national security, issues of national security. How can you say mercenaries are hired and they came from they call them killer headsmen from where? Where how did they get to Nigeria. That comes with things, or perhaps the Kuje incident, yes, has also exposed us to the reality, to the fact that look, not that the intelligence community have not been working, they've been working, but the commanding authority have not been acting on such intelligence report. So these are some of the challenges. So I will urge those concerned as regards this bill to stay action.
Nigeria is too heated up for now.
Yes, Nigeria is too heated up for now, and we don't want further because we are exacerbated. The apprehension over things that hitherto government ought to have set nip in the bud long ago is still lingering and staring us in the face. So we shouldn't go that way for now. And I'm happy that the governors are also talking. They reject, it violates the Constitution. So, Winifred, for now, I don't think it's a wise thing. It's not a wise thing for our lawmakers to start bringing up this bill that already is tamed. Because as far as
it was thrown out before, and they said it was
a tainted bill. As far as I'm concerned, that bill is tainted. It's tainted, and it's a bill that may likely spill more blood. And we've seen enough. Nearly 50,000 people have been killed under the watch of this government, the highest in the history of Nigerian administration, of governments in Nigeria. Under Buhari, more Nigerians died in violent manner than any administration in the history of this country. So we don't want further bloodshed again. In my candid opinion, the lawmakers should take action. If it violates our constitution, let us keep it aside.
Thank you so much, Paul, for that. It's been a pleasure having you on the program for you to review salient issues on our newspapers today. And well, viewers, before we go, don't forget to get a copy of Leadership Sunday, where you have a Le Vogue insert. It's coming out this Sunday, 31st July 2022. Don't miss it. It's an all glossy, all colored fashion lifestyle magazine. So do get a copy of Le Vogue this Sunday. Don't miss it.
We've not been discussing the book, and there are certain interesting stories there that have been featured in the book that ought to have been analyzed, especially those lifestyles, the fashion, and the other things. We need to also look at the bright side of our life.
Yes.
Not always discussing
insecurity. So you've heard it. So just get a copy of Leadership Sunday this Sunday, 31st July 2022, where you have an insert of Leadership Le Vogue. That is where we bring this program Inside Nigeria to health this today, Thursday, 28 July 2022. Don't forget, tomorrow is another day where we have another guest on the program to review and discuss salient issues. I remain Winifred Weber Paul. Nice having you on the program. Look forward to having you same time. Bye, viewers.
Thank you for watching. For sponsorship and advert placements, please contact 080-3688-6158. Last Word Leadership Podcast Studio. You have the last word.